Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am your humble host, Save Our Children TV, back at it for a brand new video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you'll be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. Also, subscribe to my Crime Time channel, subscribe to my reaction channel, Charles Reactions, subscribe to this channel, Save Our Children TV. Um, Happy December the 1st. And um, I have a lot to talk about today. And before we go into the video, please don't forget to hit the Cash App. I'll put it down in the comment section below. It is money sign, capital C, PA 106. That's again, money sign, capital C, PA 106. So don't forget to hit it. Um, let's get into today's stories. I have 6 stories for you guys today. Let me do one more thing. Today we're going to talk about 6 stories. South Carolina couple. You might already heard about the story who was arrested for leaving the child home alone while they was in New York City. The body of 4 infants discovered inside a Boston apartment. An 18-year-old who was charged with murdering a teenager on a Gwinnett County basketball court. Uh, Missing 17-year-old who was last seen at Clinton County Waffle House. Large fight breaks out during a Troup County Middle School basketball game, and Border Patrol's serial killer in Texas. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. South Carolina couple arrested for leaving the 2-year-old home alone while they traveled to New York City. Here's the picture of the couple's picture. That's the picture. Here is the article. This happened back on November the 23rd of 2022, so this happened a month ago, but we're going to talk about it. Charleston, South Carolina takes a L. A South Carolina couple has lots of explaining to do after the apartment manager found their 2-year-old son alone in their Charleston residence. According to the Charleston Police Department, an incident report indicated that officers responded at around 2 p.m. Thursday to the Folly Road complex for reports of an abandoned child, WCIV reported. The apartment manager confirmed to police that 24-year-old Donald G. Coing lived in the unit where the young child was found sleeping on a bed in the living room. The incident report stated attempts to reach Jigoing had been unsuccessful, so managers conducted an emergency walk through the apartment and found the child, WCIV reported. According to WCBD-TV, a witness told officers that Jigoing, the child's father, sent a text saying he was in New York for business. As per the TV station, when police entered, the child woke up and immediately reached for his empty water bottle, with exception of a dirty diaper. Police said the child seemed to be in good health. Gwen initially told authorities that he was not sure who was looking after his son. Then said maybe the boy's mother, 24-year-old Darlene Aldridge. Gwen then changed the story and admitted that Aldridge was also in New York, but claimed that her visit was because of an emergency, the incident report stated. Gwen and Aldridge both arrested Monday afternoon on one count each of unlawful conduct toward a child, WCIB reported. Gwen is being held on a $50,000 bond, while Aldridge is being held on a $75,000 bond, WCBD reported. Okay, but let me tell you what I found crazy about this story. Now, they only was charged with one count each of unlawful conduct toward a child. My thing is this: where is the child abandonment and child neglect charges? If you leave a child and fly to another state, it's a crime in most states and cities. Now, South Carolina, I don't understand why they only charge with one charge. They should be facing several charges because who leaves a child home alone? You see what I'm saying? So the problem I have is that why give these people a slap on the wrist for leaving a child home alone? They should have been hit with several serious felonies. I'm not understanding why they're only charged with one count each of unlawful conduct. Again, that's why the system is failing because we're charging people who should be facing serious time for this. Okay, they committed a serious crime. They left the child home alone, flew to New York, whether it was going on a business trip or not. They should have found a babysitter, maybe the mother, maybe the the girlfriend mother or the boyfriend's mother or somebody could have watched that child. You know what I'm saying? Not leave him home alone. Here's the news video. Hold on.
Power on. Bluetooth mode. Bluetooth connected.
My closing thoughts about this story is that, you know, both of them are too young, first of all, to even been having children. They're both just 24 years old. And obviously, you know what I'm saying, this is why children shouldn't be having children because they make poor decisions. And the poor decision that they made was to leave that child home alone. Anything could have happened. And that's why I feel like more charges should be added. I'm not understanding why just they're facing one charge. You see what I'm saying? So they should be facing several charges. But I digress. And that's why the system is broken. And the system needs to be fixed. and the system is put in place to punish those who break the law. And these two 24-year-old adults who plus the parent, this 2-year-old, failed this child by leaving him home alone, hopping on a plane, flying to New York City, and not caring about what could happen to the child. And that's the scary part that people could walk away, just leave their children at home and not face serious time. I don't understand South Carolina. I mean, seriously, I didn't want to add several other charges or 6 other charges. I'm just saying. But both of these parents failed, and um, have to do some type of prison time, whether it's 3 to 6 years, whether it's 3 to 5 years. I think they need prison time, and I think that they need to take parenting classes, and yeah, let's move on to our second story. This story happened 2 days ago. Boston takes an L. Boston takes an L. Body of Police found the remains of 4 infants. I'll read that again. Police find the remains of 4 infants inside a Boston apartment. Police discovered the remains of 4 infants in a South Boston apartment earlier this month, according to a press release issued Monday. Police say they responded to a call to investigate the apartment on November the 17th when they arrived on the scene around 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. They discovered first what appeared to be a human fetus or an infant. Additionally, human remains were discovered the next day. Police say an ongoing autopsy has so far revealed the remains of 2 male infants and 2 female infants. A Suffolk County District Attorney spokesman told local news outlets that the remains were discovered inside a freezer. The District Attorney Office did not immediately return NPRS request for confirmation. Police have yet to share any information about the identity of the infants, name potential suspects, or say whether they were considering pressing charges. According to relative websites and public property records, the apartment on East Broadway is one of the 9 small condominium units located inside a large red brick building. Local media outlets said that the news has rocked the normally quiet neighborhood of City Point. Katie Valley, who told the Boston Globe that her family has owned the building next door to 5 generations, was at work when her mother called to say there was a helicopter flying over the street and a dozen police cars out front. It was definitely just really chilling and awful to see because it's just such an uneventful and safe neighborhood. She told the Globe, I would never expect anything like that to happen here, especially just right next door to us. I always feel and still do feel incredibly safe around here. There's no news video, but I'm gonna give my closing remarks on it. You should be able to feel safe living next to somebody, not to be stirred, not to be startled and get get the news that 4 remains, especially infants' remains, are found next door in an apartment. And the way that they discovered these infants in a freezer, which means one thing: they were murdered. And I'm gonna tell you why. It is unusual to find remains in a freezer. You know, excuse me. Um, it's unusual, and it's crazy that somebody would do this to innocent human beings, innocent children, and um, whoever is responsible for this, because I know somebody is responsible for this, needs to turn themselves in, A, or needs to confess. That's B. C should be just ashamed of themselves, and D should hate themselves for life because you took four innocents, four you killed four innocent children and put the remains in the freezer. And just in my opinion, I feel like there's more than just one person involved in this case. I feel like there gotta be at least two to three suspects. Just in my opinion. Whoever did this, um, please come forward and confess. You're gonna help yourself out, and there's a family out here that's grieving, loss to the children. Um, Now, I'm not saying like maybe the parents are involved and get their own children. You don't know. Somebody did. Somebody needs to be locked up for life because of this. But I'm gonna tell you this right now: killing four infants, whoever did this, is sure facing a death penalty. Killing four infants, four. It's either they facing death or they're facing life without parole. You know, or four consecutive life sentences for each count. It's sad. It's crazy. And whoever did this needs to man up and take responsibility and ownership. Let's move on to our next story. Give me a second. Okay, so let's talk about our next story. We're going to talk about the 18-year-old who was just arrested for murder. Just pull it up. This happened an hour ago. Hour ago. An 18-year-old boy is charged with murdering a teenager on a Gwinnett County basketball court. 18-year-old charged, okay, Atlanta, Texas, and Air, Gwinnett County. So 18-year-old is charged with murdering a teenager on Gwinnett County basketball court. And this happened today. Um, Gwinnett County, Georgia. Gwinnett County Police said detectives charged an 18-year-old with the murder of a teenager on a neighborhood basketball court. The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office arrested Shamal Benjamin for the deadly shooting of Timothy Bunchin. Oh, so this happened back in October. On October 2nd, on Mary Court in Lawrenceville. Police said Benjamin faces charges of felony murder, aggravated assault, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, and possession of a firearm that commission of a felony. He was booked in Gwinnett County Jail. Police said the officers found 17-year-old Buchanan dead from a gunshot wound on a basketball court in the Bramlett Shores subdivision. The shooter had already left the scene, police said. Homicide investigators talked to people who live near the basketball court, including kids who may have been outside that Sunday afternoon. Neighbors were surprised about the violence. They were just being kids playing basketball. You didn't think they were packing, said Justin, a neighbor who lives near the crime scene. Investigators then explained what they think motivated the shooting. Okay. Number one, how many times are we going to have to talk to the youth about using deadly force during basketball games? Now, we got to remember something. Children might have been at the park that day, okay? Adults might have been at the park that day. Might have been a lot of people at the park that day and at the basketball court, and you just open a fire, striking and killing a 17-year-old, and you're 18 yourself. Now, I watch Beyond Spiritual, and the first thing they said is 18-year-olds, people commit their crimes at the age of 18. And this 18-year-old is going to be doing a lot of time in prison for what he did. And the thing is this, you didn't just ruin the victim's life. You kind of ruin these children's lives and other people's lives who live in the neighborhood who probably now afraid to even go to that park because of what you did. And what you did was left a dark feeling at the park now. Knowing that somebody been killed at that park, I wouldn't think somebody would ever go back to that park and play there or play basketball there because it would just be not only scary, but it would just remind the person of what happened that day. And people got to know how to take anger a different way. If you're mad about something, there's ways to handle it. Pulling out a gun and shooting and killing people, injuring people is not the answer. We have a mouth for a reason. Communicate. Communicate. We calling ourselves over a basketball game. We're killing people over a basketball game. I mean, it's crazy. And if you really think about it, not only the victim family lost their loved one, but the suspect family lost their child. He's going to prison for the rest of his life. He charged with felony murder. That's a life sentence. For what? Being a thug. Having a thug mentality. When he could have just walked away. He could have walked away and got a couple breathers. He could have hindered as a man. But he went and hindered as a boy. He went and got a gun and used deadly force. Sad story, man. Sad story. Tell me what you think about this story in the comment section below. And tell me, have you ever been in the middle of a gunfire, like in public? Have you ever witnessed someone being shot and killed, or witnessed a shooting, or you or somebody close to you almost lost their life? It's a scary world we live in. It's very, very scary, and people don't understand the repercussions behind it. You shoot a gun, person gets shot, and they get injured, and then they die from it. You being charged with murder, being charged with homicide. You gotta be careful. Don't let your anger get the best of you, because it ain't wasted. It ain't wasted. You going to prison for the rest of your life. All right. Let's see. Clay County, Texas now. We're gonna talk about missing 17-year-old girl who's last seen at Clayton County Waffle House. So let's talk about it. If it's low, then we're gonna talk about it. It's her right there. All right. So, Clayton County, Georgia. Clayton County police are hoping someone can help them find a missing 17-year-old girl last seen at a local Waffle House. Officials are searching for 17-year-old Jakira Brown, who police say had been last seen at the restaurant on the 3000 block of Anvil Black Road in Ellenwood, Georgia. The missing teen is described as being 5 feet 6 inches tall with a weight of 116 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. Brown was last known to be wearing a yellow skirt. Wearing a yellow shirt, black pants, and black shoes. If you have any information about where Brown could be, call the Clinton County Police Department at 770-477-3550. That is again 770-477-3550. If anybody know where Dorica, let me see, that's them again. Jerica, Jarkira Brown. Jerica Brown is at 17-year-old Jerica Brown. If anybody know her whereabouts, call Clinton County Police. Um, call them ASAP. Um, she is 17 years old, and um, a 17-year-old should not be walking. Shouldn't be missing. 17-year-old shouldn't be missing. So if anyone knows, she had phone Clinton County Police. Thank you. We're gonna move on to um, our next story, and our fifth story, and it's a large fight that broke out at a middle school. Large fight breaks out during Troup County Middle School basketball game, officials say. Police are investigating a large fight. I think they spelled it wrong. Police are investigating a large fight that broke out during a Troup County Middle School basketball game Wednesday night. which was yesterday. Officials with the Troup County Sheriff's Office said shortly after 8 p.m. on Wednesday, a deputy who was working as a school resource officer at Callaway Middle School called 911 requesting additional deputies at the school. The deputy reported that a large fight had broken out during overtime of the basketball game against Common Road Middle School. 2 minutes later, multiple people called 911 saying that someone possibly had a gun in the school's parking lot. Deputies arriving at the scene quickly responded and immediately isolated everyone involved to stop the fight. At this time, officials said no gunshots had been fired and no one was injured in the incident. School officials said that they are working with law enforcement to ensure that everyone involved will be held accountable for their actions. The cause of the fight has not been released. The investigation is ongoing. The deputy reported that a large fire had broken out during overtime of the basketball game against Common Road Middle School. 2 minutes later, multiple people called 911 saying that someone possibly had a gun in the school's parking lot. Um, the investigation is ongoing. Okay. Number one, how much you want to bet that there were also adults fighting and the middle school children also were fighting? Because they say it was a large fight, that means everybody was fighting. And I have a question. This isn't the first time a fight happened in Georgia middle school. It's not the first time. But to the parents, what example are you setting for your children by going to a middle school and fighting? What example are you really setting for minors at a middle school? Because to go to a basketball game and fighting during a basketball game at a middle school is about the ignorant thing you can ever do. And this reminds me of the Texas literally football fight that broke out, and the coach was shot and killed. Anything can happen during a fight involving children. Anything can happen. People could pull out guns. People could pull out knives. People could pull out pepper spray. People could pull out weapons. So, you know, you're setting a bad example for the youth. You really are. And the fact that people come and break up the fight and still engaged in the fight, everybody involved needs to be arrested. Because what example are you setting for your children, your kids' friends, their friends, their friends, the school? What example are you setting for Georgia communities by fighting on school grounds during a basketball game? To the point where the school resource officer had to call the police. So there was a big police presence up at a middle school. And this is the reason why I said some people shouldn't have children. Because if you can't handle yourself at children functions such as football, basketball, hockey, soccer, any sports, then you shouldn't attend it. Because this is not the way you behave at a middle school basketball game. You're setting a bad example for your children and and other children at that school. You're setting a bad example by going in a fight. And what is 10 times worse about it is that I'm looking at the actual, you can see the picture of the school. There's three cars. There's two cars, and then you have like a little like a like a truck thing, and then you have about 5 6 feet away across from the school. There's a flag. We supposed to be united, one nation, united. We all supposed to come together, not be divided, not acting a fool on school campus. You gotta conduct yourself as adults. You acting like children. Find that children basketball games with with respect. Okay, with respect. And my belief, I believe that adults in general shouldn't be able to attend children functions because they don't know how to behave themselves. You should have to prove to the schools that you can behave yourself if you come to a school function. Fighting during a basketball game, which is very embarrassing, by the way. And then somebody said, "Gun, gun." They have a gun, but it turns out there was no gun. What if there was a gun and the gun went off and people got shot, even killed because of an argument, because of a fight? Violence is never the answer. It's not. Violence is never the answer. Violence don't solve nothing. It solves two things. I'm gonna talk about violence solve. Violence solve. Violence solves two things: somebody being hurt and killed. Stop the violence. We're gonna move on to a final story. This story is actually taking place as we speak. They're in the second trimester of the trial, and the story is out of Texas. So Texas takes an L. It's about that border patrol who killed those people, and we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Trial of Border Patrol agent Juan David Ortiz, accused of killing prostitutes, starts in Texas. The trial of a U.S. Border Patrol agent turned alleged killer began in Texas Monday with Juan David Ortiz facing charges of murdering four prostitutes and attempting to kill a fifth. The murders took place in the Texas border city of Laredo in 2018. Prosecutors say the former border intelligence supervisor admitted going on a 12-day killing spree in September of that year, according to an arrest affidavit. Ortiz provided a voluntary verbal confession. He shot and killed the four women. The affidavit reads Ortiz is also accused of dumping his victims' bodies in rural areas outside of Laredo. Prosecutors claim Ortiz told investigators he was doing a service by killing the women and that he didn't think law enforcement was going he didn't think law enforcement was doing enough to curb prostitution. On the first day of the trial, a fifth victim testified Ortiz had tried to kill her, but she escaped. Erica Pino, who admitted to sleeping with men to support her drug habit, told the jury Ortiz picked her up on the street on September 14, 2018, and took her to his house while his wife and kids were out of town. While riding in his pickup truck, Ortiz threatened her with a gun. She testified when she tried to get out of the truck, he tried to stop her, ripping her shirt in the process of leaving her to run topless to a nearby gas station where she asked a state trooper for help. Ortiz's defense team fired back during their opening statements, claimed the disgraced agent's confession was forced. The 39-year-old is also accused of killing Cosalda Alicia Hernandez, 35, Claudine Anna Luria, 42, Melissa Ramirez, 29, and Nikki and Red Crest, 28, a transgender woman. Although Ortiz faces capital murder charges, which could make him eligible for the death penalty, prosecutors are not seeking it at the request of the victims' families, according to the San Antonio Express News. The families, the families unanimously voted and requested that I remove the death penalty and seek life without parole. Webb County District Attorney Asadra announced the lab prosecutors told the paper. As one family member stated, getting the death penalty will be letting him off easy. Consequently, I granted the request and made a change in punishment. The killings received intense media attention. South Texas today, the sheriff, a judge granted a change of venue from the Loretto area to the San Antonio area to ensure an imperial jury trial is expected to be 2 weeks long and continues Tuesday. Okay. Number one, if you're not familiar with my channel, Save Our Children TV, I always talk about this on my channel. Background checks. If law enforcement did a thorough background check on this border patrol agent, quote unquote, he would have never became a border patrol agent. A psychological evaluation, a background check, his criminal history, and look through everything from A to B, from A to Z, and from Z to A. They miss every opportunity to diagnose the sociopath and then give him a job as a border patrol agent. In my opinion, he looked demised. Like something is really wrong with this guy, and in my opinion, I believe like to me the death penalty is really not sentencing. It's really not a sentence to me. It's letting people get the easy way out. And I think that death penalty should be off the table in a lot of these murder cases because you're not really like at the end of the day when you execute the person for what they did, that person's name gonna still be in the media for a very, very long time. It's not gonna go away, it's gonna be there. So at the end of the day, you just give him another reason to be in the media. So I'm glad they did take the death penalty off the table and imposing life without parole once sentencing gets here. I think multiple life sentences would be more appropriate without parole. And then I think he should be paying restitution to the victims in a high amount. And I'm talking about past $1 million. Let's talk about trillions of dollars to the victims, to the court, to the community of Texas, to everybody involved in the case. And this is one of the craziest cases. And the sad part is that in this picture, he's smiling, his attorney is smiling. But I don't think it's funny that 4 people is dead behind his ignorance. And one and another could have been killed by your client while you're smiling. And a lot of these defense attorneys don't take their job seriously. Because if you smile and you're defending your client, you should have some type of respect and not be laughing in a picture and smiling. That tells me that a lot of attorneys don't take their job seriously and they do it for the money. So at the end of the day, I want to see how funny it is when you sentence to life without parole. Okay. Like, comment, and subscribe, turn your post notification on so you'll be notified every single time I drop a new video. Without further ado, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Subscribe to all my channels. Hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up button. Please hit the Cash App at money sign CPA, a capital CPA 106. Again, money sign capital CPA 106. Subscribe to all of my channels. Thumbs up, subscribe. Get this video 15K my other channel, get those videos to like 1K, 3K, 4K. That's get thousands of views, millions and millions of views. That's working on our view counts. Ain't looking too good. So please help me out by reaching my goal. My goal is to get these videos to at least 2K. We'll start at like 2,000 and make it to 5,000 if we continue you know, working through it. And we'll continue dropping content for you guys. But please support me on gaining some more subscribers. And don't forget to enjoy the rest of your day. And, you know, happy holidays. I know the holidays are coming up soon. Christmas is coming up soon. So um, enjoy the upcoming holidays next 2 weeks or 3 weeks from today. And I'll be back on Monday and Thursday on this channel to drop some more content. Love you guys. Peace.